Today on the podcast, we're going to talk about should you continue studying when you realize this is not your thing.
On my grind all day, gonna make $1 million someday. You know I'm
Hi everyone, my name is Razza and welcome to another episode of DOERSTALK. This is Gabby's first time being on this type of a talk.
Very first time.
Exactly. And so just to quickly mention to you guys, so for those who have podcast app on your iPhones, which is actually most of us, you can go to the app and just search for DOERSTALK in order to be able to listen to this. And video version of this episode is also going to be recorded and uploaded onto RazzaOfficial YouTube channel. And that's it. Look, with that, I'm going to go straight away to my guest. I've met my guest at the Starbucks where she's working. She's a student and you're working part-time or not?
Full-time.
Full-time. And she's also working full-time at Starbucks. This is like a really brief intro, Gabby, but maybe give me a quick, not a quick, but normal macro introductions about yourself. Just where you come from, what's your current identities, what like you're a student. I know you're a student. You're working as well. Give me a quick macro intro about yourself, and we'll kick in from there.
All right. First of all, thank you so much for an
You're very
invitation.
welcome.
Yeah, I really appreciate it. So I'm Gabi. I come from Poland. I arrived to Ireland nearly 3 years ago. I'm working full-time, as Razza mentioned, and I also do the college here, which I started on last October.
What's the college about, Gabby? Like, what's the specific course that you do?
Yeah, so I do graphic design course in Dublin Institute of Design.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm really enjoying it.
Perfect. So, Gabby, because I met you at the Starbucks first, and then you told me a couple of times about the stories. You told me that this is not your college, even though Gabby looks very young. It seems like this is her first degree she ever does. But apparently, she told me that she has done the bachelor's previously as well. Tell me about that. So, what your bachelor's was previously, and how did you decide that actually that's not what you want to do later in life, and you want to change something?
Yeah, so it's all started in Poland. I don't remember, it was like 2009 while I started the college in Poland. So I was studying Russian language, Russian philology, I think they call it like this. And that was actually that was really random decision, really spontaneous decision that I made at that stage, as I don't even know if I told you before. The thing is, I really wanted to be an actress.
No, I didn't.
No?
Yeah.
I didn't. Okay. So, while I was in a high school, I was actually getting myself ready to get to the theater school. So I was attending to theater classes. I was getting myself ready. And but then it's extremely hard actually. Probably it's all around the world the same story, but in Poland there's so many people.
As soon as you said, I remember Joey Tribbiani from Friends TV show sitcom, where he always tries to audition. So of course it's very hard.
It is, especially when you are passing an exam to the public school. There's so many people. It's hundreds of people, and there is always 20 places available. So it is extremely hard. So first I went. I gave it a try anyway, and obviously I didn't get there. So just not to stay not doing anything through all the year, because basically I was planning to try one more time after 1 year, and I decided to do something anyway. I actually wanted to learn English at that time. But it was also kind of hard to get to the English language course.
You mean when was that? When you got into the Russian?
Yeah. I was just that was really spontaneous decision. So basically, I was just checking all of the courses in my university, and I did something like this, and I saw Russian language, and I was that's actually grand because I've never learned Russian before. yeah, why not to try it?
So you dedicated 4 years into learning Russian, right?
Yeah, but like, to be fair, I wasn't really thinking about it as my kind of future profession or stuff. I just wanted to learn language.
And you potentially work in any sphere that requires Russian language, or become an actress in Russia, or
No. That was just to learn Russian.
just to learn Russian.
Just to learn Russian.
Just to have that skill in
Yeah.
different language, right?
I didn't think about it in a serious way, and I think that's why probably I don't want to say like I wasted time, because anyway I've learned something,
Of course.
and I really enjoy that anyway. I just knew straight away that it's not the thing I want to do in my life. Like, I didn't want to be a translator or anything like this.
You found out about it like when you started it? When you started
Yeah.
you realized that it's not...
I was just studying just to
learn the language, just continue.
Yeah.
And just because you started it, that's why you were continuing? Or because you were like, you want to learn that language anyway? Or because you started it?
Yeah, I really enjoyed that time. I really enjoyed that time and that language, like the thing, like you know, like all of the basics, like the alphabet and stuff. Like everything is completely different. So the process actually was pretty much interesting.
Fair enough. Because with me it was, well, let's say once when I started doing my bachelor's in event management, it was business studies with event management. I didn't really like the subjects and the modules that I was studying, but what I liked were the people that I was studying with, and so that was not also the main reason. The main reason was that I started it, and since I started it, and like I did one first year, and then I actually realized that probably this is not something I want to do. But then because I started it, I wanted to finish because I didn't know what else to do. I just didn't, in my head, I didn't know what else I can potentially do, and then that's what I continued doing. But back then, if I knew, like, let's say I have something that I want to do, then I probably would quit. Probably I wouldn't even quit. You know why? Because my parents would say, "No, Ruslan, you have to finish the college," which is typical from parents. And then I would still go ahead and finish it. So you probably had a little bit of that situation.
It was exactly
as well.
the same. It was exactly the same story because basically I got bachelor degree, but then I just kept going, and I've already gotten my master's.
Yeah.
But like my mom, she can't still forgive me that thing. It was about 1 month before the end of my college, and I was just like, no, I'm done.
Yeah,
and I just left, like I quit that. Maybe that was silly decision, I don't know. Like, but for me it was a piece of paper for something I don't really want to do in the future. It, like, like now when I'm comparing that to what I'm doing right now, I know exactly that it wasn't my thing.
Oh, of course.
It wasn't my thing. Like, now I really care about it.
Yeah.
But like at that stage,
exactly.
Not really.
Exactly. And what it comes, I think, for parents would be a good idea to try to always push their kids. This is something that I've learned from my parents' mistakes, and like you probably know as well, that it's better to give the kids all types of opportunity to do stuff or explore stuff so that they can make up their minds. And well, if they haven't made up their minds, then maybe it's good to encourage them continue studying whatever they're studying, because at least they will have some kind of a degree instead of having nothing. And then they can go somewhere with that degree, work for a few years, then realize, oh wow, actually now I've figured out what I want to do, and then continue and do something that they want. Actually,
that's fair.
Fair enough. And Gabby, when did you realize? Okay, so you did the 1 month of masters. You realized that actually you don't want to do that. You don't want to continue that anymore. When did you realize that moving to Ireland would be a good option?
There was actually like so many factors. Like the decision like to come to Ireland, it was actually a bit spontaneous as well. It was just because my sister was living here, and even though like I knew she's living here for a while, I've never thought about it to come here. It was actually that was the situation that I was really like upset with at that time, because I was also like I was doing my college full time. And I was working full time as well. That's why, finally, I just gave up. I was like, no, I'm done. I was sick of that. It was just too much. Like I didn't have any day off for like a couple of months. So the thing is, in work, my manager made me kind of to take my summer holidays on March.
In work in Poland.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And
So you were side hustling back then. You were like working while you were in college.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And the thing is, I got mad, to be honest, because it was like the third year while I was working for that company, and I was expecting to get my holidays like in a proper summertime. But now I know that it was like there was a reason for that.
Okay.
Because of that, I just visited my sister here.
Yeah.
I came to Ireland for 1 week. It wasn't my plan, like really to.
They kind of
I'm
made
going
you-
there to
yeah.
check it out, and maybe I'll be back. It wasn't like this. I just wanted to visit my sister. But after I think like 3 days, I was like, oh my god, I'm coming back. I didn't know
You
what
decided
to start.
then, okay.
Yeah, and I think I went back to Poland, and then after 1 month, I was already here.
Fair enough. And Gabby, what was that attracted you? Because I know, like, typically with the Eastern European guys, it was typically because of work. Because in all countries we didn't get proper salaries, we didn't get proper wages back then.
Yeah.
Let's say that's why, like, many years ago, my dad moved here for the first time because his factory got closed. And then I know that there was a peak time where so many Eastern European guys moved here mainly for work reasons. But then, like, was your case as well?
Not
or?
really.
What was your case?
I wasn't thinking about job itself. It was just like the different place.
Okay, so you
different
like the
people.
place?
The place, yeah.
Uh-huh.
I like the place. I really loved from the start. It
Okay.
was Bray, for example. I come from south of Poland, so it's really far away from the seaside, and I'm really obsessed with seaside.
Okay.
And doesn't matter that the seaside is actually not that great, like in Poland, like the weather and stuff. But anyway, I saw the sea, and I was like, Jesus, I'm actually living in the capital city, which is actually city, but I can take a train. And
go to the seaside,
I'm
yeah.
on the seaside like straight away.
Exactly.
So I was just like, wow, like that was something new. And that was really attractive to me. Yeah, I
Perfect.
think so.
And that's an unusual reason to come to Ireland, because that's not the
Yeah, I
typical
know.
reasons Eastern European guys come for. No, that's cool. What I was going to ask you after this is, let me quickly look at my note. Okay, yeah. So what I was going to say, that basically you were doing your side hustle. So you decided to come to Ireland. And when did you decide in Ireland that that you need to find a job? Or like, how did you come with that decision? Because DOERSTALK is mainly about people about their struggles, about different type of obstacles that they're trying to overcome, and I know that you had those obstacles, and not that I'm trying to make you to have those obstacles, but I know that when you came here to Ireland, especially when it's a new country, it's a new city, and you need to figure out what you want to do. You need to figure out whether you need to find a job, or how you're going to proceed career-wise, or whatever you want to do in your life. How did you plan that out, and then took the next phase of your life?
Well, so from the beginning, I think I got my first job after 4 days.
Okay.
Yeah, it was pretty much easy.
At
It was
Starbucks?
actually no.
Okay.
At first, it was the Grand Canal Dock. There's the food market, and I was just working there. It was hard. Because like my language skills weren't that great, and I actually started to work as a cashier. So
With the poor language skills, you were starting working as a
with
cashier.
very poor language.
Wow.
that was really challenging. So yeah, first of all, it was just kind of reading people's reactions and faces and guessing like how my reactions should look like.
This is the way Eastern European guys struggled back then when they moved to countries like Ireland, England, and US.
Yeah. And but yeah, just because of the practice, like because of seeing people every single day, trying to talk to them, and like people in Ireland, they are completely different. Like comparing to people in Poland, it is a bit different way of thinking and communication between people as well. So they were really kind of respectful, even though like you didn't know the language, they were trying to communicate anyway.
Yeah.
And they were
Plus,
smiling.
So you moved to how many years ago approximately?
Here?
Yeah.
3 years.
Oh, 3 years, okay.
Yeah, almost 3 years ago. And I think after 6 months, when like my language was getting better and better, I decided to change something. So I applied to Starbucks. And yeah, that's actually like my second job here in Ireland. And yeah, from that time, I'm still here.
And your language probably had improved since then, right? Obviously.
Yeah.
I remember when I came to Ireland, I sucked. Like, you know, I didn't know how to do my PPS properly, but my dad, he was like, no, go ahead and do it anyway. It was very, very difficult. He pushed me without like any languages whatsoever. Like, you know, I barely spoke, and PPS is a very, very difficult thing to do because you had to. Back then, you had to bring a proof of address, and it was a simple handwritten letter. Like that was like 12 years ago, and then a few like other proofs as well. There was not too many proofs, but anyway, you had to bring those proofs. And for the person who didn't speak much of English, I think I was like 18 years old back then, or 17, and he just pushed me there, and I just came, and then I translated so many things on Google Translate, and came to them and tried to explain. They refused to give it to me for the first 2 times. Then I collected bits and pieces of information. Then third time I came with some friend who also knew like a little bit of English. Then he helped me a little bit, and we finally did the PPS with him. PPS is a personal public number, by the way, for those who actually don't know what I'm talking about. And every single person has to have it anyway. And I finally got it, and then from there on, I always used to look at the people who work. You know, all international people, Polish people, Lithuanian people. Lithuania was actually the country I came from then, and they all were able to speak English, and they were working as a cashiers, they were working in internet cafes. You know, just transacting, talking to clients, etc. And I was like jealous. For me, knowing English was like knowing a language from the movies, and I was fantasizing to learn English, and I didn't think that I will ever be able to speak like them. But then obviously you go through struggles. Oh, by the way, I just realized that because my dad made me he pushed me to go through that struggle and try to learn, and he pushed me in many different spots. But when you go through struggles, that's the time when you actually remember it the most.
That's true. Yeah.
And Gabby, so when you came here and started your work at Starbucks, when did you realize that you want to work in artistic sphere, and you know, how did you decide to become student and do graphic design?
Yeah, like the artistic things, like they were still kind of around me. Like it started from that desire to be an actress, or whatever. And yeah, my mom, she always she kept saying like, oh, you're such an artist. And I didn't even realize that there's something I really want to do. I was just still looking for my path, my life path. But here it wasn't really my plan to go to college anymore. I was sick of the previous college. I was like, no, that's not for me anymore. I just want to work.
Yeah.
And then I think it was like, that's also like something I was struggling with. It made me to start the college, because last year I think it was like the most horrible year in my entire life, and I was really like kind of in a bad condition, like the mental condition, I'd say. There was so many things. They were going wrong, like everything.
Can we go like point by point? What happened?
Oh, what happened?
Just point by point, not without details.
What happened?
Because this is what I want everyone to hear. Yeah.
As I mentioned, like I had a relationship.
So you broke up with your boyfriend?
I broke up with my boyfriend. Then I had my beloved dog here, and I had to find another place for her to send her back home. What basically broke my heart. Then I had to find another place to live, what wasn't also like really easy. There was kind
especially
of like
in Ireland,
and like, you know, like we live in Ireland, so we know like the weather, the lack of sun, like they are small things, but they really affect like the way we are feeling every day. So I was really bad. And I was like, what to do like with my life, because I was already considering going back to Poland. Like when I'm thinking about it right now, I'm just like, no way. Like, thanks God, you didn't do that. Yeah. But I was really close, because I just didn't know. I just didn't know what's going on. So I was basically losing hope, and that was really random, like meeting with my best friend when I was kind of like really kind of broken down and stuff, and we had just a random chat, and he was like, Gabi, I need to tell you about something, like it's kind of my secret, so don't share it with any other people, it's my secret weapon. And that was actually funny. And he mentioned the guy from Poland who's making videos on YouTube. He has his YouTube channel, he's a YouTuber, and he's actually like overall his work is based on something like you are doing, for example.
Who are you talking about?
About the guy from Poland.
Gary from Poland?
No.
Okay.
No, about Gary, I actually found out from that guy. So yeah, his name is Mirek.
Okay.
His YouTube channel is Miro Burn.
So that's a
what
Polish
is actually
YouTuber, right?
shortcut, from his name and the surname. I don't know. I just started watching his videos, and he's such an inspiring person. Like, that's why, like, now when I'm sitting here, I'm just like, I can't believe that I'm kind of kind of on the other side of the camera for the first time, because like that's why I agreed.
So what was the most inspiring thing that put you in the mindset that you need to continue with whatever you were continuing?
There was like so many things I just reached from him, like so many advices.
Okay.
Like even like kind of really small things. I started to make kind of like the daily journal. When I think like your previous guest mentioned about something similar as well, when he's making like the daily goals.
Oh yeah, like the three things that he wants to do.
So I do basically exactly the same thing. So I'm planning what I really want to do during the day. I'm also writing down the stuff I'm grateful that happened yesterday.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And I also list down the 10 ideas for something.
In general, like
10 ideas, random things, like really random things. That was the first thing my best friend mentioned me. Like you can start to do the 10 ideas on something, like, because like, you know, the brain is a muscle as well, so you need to keep it exercising as well, then it's working properly. Especially now, I really appreciate it, and I can see the difference while I'm working on kind of like creative things. I'm getting like so many different ideas straight away, and sometimes I even surprise myself. I'm just like how come it came to my mind?
Exactly, yeah.
And that's actually really helpful. Like it's so easy like to put like the first 3 or 5 ideas for something, but then you have another 5 or 4 and you are actually struggling. So you are exercising your brain, and that's actually that's cool thing.
That's cool, especially when you have so many ideas and you write them. Comparing this to not writing anything and not having anything in front of you might put you in a little bit depression. But when you have that in written and you have you have certain things that you can work on.
Yeah.
And even if those ideas suck, you still have written them. You can go back to them, think about them. And then choose the best ones out of them and implement those.
Exactly. That's what actually like Mirek he's doing. He's kind of working on some let's say 10 ideas for a business. But the thing is like, anyway, ideas are just ideas.
Exactly.
So we just need that's the best moment. Just to do something with it, and that's it. So whenever he has an idea for some business, he's sharing that with other people, and he's like, feel free to use it.
Okay.
Because I'm not doing anything with it. That might be a really great idea, but whenever I'm not doing anything, it's just not happening, you know?
That's really perfect.
Yeah. Like he's such a great person. Like I'm so grateful for everything what I've learned from him.
Yeah.
There's like so many things. And now I finally got to the point when he was actually like, first of all, I was really addicted to all of these videos. I was watching them every day, because that's actually daily vlog.
Okay.
So yeah, he's posting these episodes every day. But after like so many episodes, he mentioned, I'm actually not asking you to subscribe my channel.
Okay.
I'm asking you to unsubscribe it, to stop watching it,
Yeah.
just do something with your life. But
Okay.
then I kept watching it on and on and on.
That's a nice
And now
tactic.
I have
Yeah.
really, like, I'd say like 1 month, 2 months break
Yeah.
of these videos.
Okay.
Not because I don't like them. I'm just too busy with my stuff.
Yes,
And
yes.
I'm finally doing that. So yeah, I'd say Mirek would be proud of me.
100%. And then you might even go back and like
Yeah,
after
of course.
you've done your thing, and even while you're doing, you drop him a message saying like, look, because of you,
Yeah.
I stopped watching it, and I'm doing actually
Yeah,
something about it.
definitely,
Yeah,
definitely.
and he'll be very proud of it.
Yeah.
You know, that actually he was able to inspire you and even influence you to do your own thing.
Yeah. So many people, there's so many people who are inspired by him. So yeah, and he's like kind of normal guy. He's doing his thing. He's working on the public cloud and stuff. So he's not really like a life coach or whatever.
Oh, so he's working in the company, like.
That's another funny thing, like how he developed like his career.
Yeah.
Because he was working for like different companies. Like recently he was working for Microsoft.
Mm-hmm.
But while he started making that channel, people, they started like supporting him. There's something
Separating him.
no, supporting.
Oh, supporting him, sorry.
Because he was thinking about making his own business, like his own company,
Okay.
who's supporting other people like about the public cloud and stuff.
Okay.
So there, like the people were like straight away, there was so many people who wanted to support him
Okay.
for like to open his own company, and now it's actually like everything is increasing there and it's developing and his career is going great.
Mm-hmm.
And really fair play to him. Yeah, well deserved really.
Exactly. And it sounds like, you know, the guy didn't want to do much for himself, as you said. Like he also uses YouTube. He was sharing ideas and he was saying like, you know, implement this idea, execute on it, and then get back to me then afterwards.
Yeah.
I think that's really, really cool, because 90% of people are not doing anything with ideas anyway. So many people have the idea. It's still funny when some people, they still say, oh, I don't want to share my idea with anyone because I'm afraid that they're going to steal
that's
it.
the thing, yeah.
But no one's going to steal it, because at the moment we're not living in that kind of a generation anymore.
Yeah.
No, that's perfect, Gabby. Thanks for that, for expressing this. The other thing I wanted to ask you, Gabby, what are you obsessed with? It can be absolutely anything. At the moment, you know, anything, like absolutely anything. What do you like?
At the moment, my biggest obsession is time.
Okay.
How to stretch the time. I've never had that before, but now I just got to the point when I'm just like, I changed my daily routine completely. Like I turned everything upside down just to get more time, like to get rid of some like time distractors or whatever is kind of.
Tell me about your daily routine. Like, let's say when you go into, like, typically, right? Let's say when you go into college and when you're going back to work, how do you manage to, like, how do you start it, and then how do you manage it to be more effective?
Yeah, it's actually really kind of regular, as like my timetable. It's just like my college. It's just part-time. I'm doing part-time course, and it's just once a week. But
Okay.
the thing is, like, it seems to be great. It's just doesn't require like spending too much time on it. But the thing is, like, after my classes on Monday, I have so much to do, like, and I need to spend another 5-6 days working on
The specific
on
projects
the
to
next
complete them.
brief
Mhm.
or stuff, just to present that like on the next week. It requires so much time. So yeah, like if I had family or I don't know, children,
Yeah.
we were talking before,
Yeah.
I wouldn't be able to make it. Like maybe I would. Maybe you can do
So
something.
when did you realize that, like, oh crap, you know, I need to take this time management a little more serious? And when you said like you changing few things, you reversing few things, when was the point that you were like, was there a point that you couldn't manage time and you were like, I need to manage it better?
Yeah, I actually realized straight away that I need to spend more time on my college things. That's why I just had to kind of working on the time management and kind of make a frame of my day that it's always kind of the same. Unfortunately, but I've learned how to say no to some of the people, like,
Okay.
we are going out, let's go with us, and I'm just like, sorry, I can't, because it was also always so hard for me to say no to people, but now it's just like I have my goals, like, and I just have to do it. Whenever I have my midterm break, I can see you guys, but like now it's just, it is what it is.
Yeah, and sometimes you feel like, maybe sometimes you feel a little bit like left out, that you maybe didn't go out, but actually it's all going to pay off at the end for you. I remember when I was in college as well, and you know, when I came to Ireland for the first time, as I mentioned, I didn't have any English whatsoever. I was like spending too much time on the first summer to learn it, but then when I went to college, it was even difficult because all the school terms and all that. And I remember, so I came here on the 5th year, which is like same as the 11th year in our countries.
Yeah.
So the 5th year is like, you have like 5th year and 6th year, and that's it. After that, you finished school. Secondary school I'm talking about here. So I was in 5th year. Then on the 6th year, my English kind of slightly improved, not much, you know, because of the terminology and all that. And I remember there was like 2 or 3 additional Eastern European guys that I was hanging out with, and I told them at one point, close to the exams, I told them that I'm not going to hang out as much. And they thought like I was only joking, but then when they called me once to go outside, I said I'm going to go outside only for 10 minutes and I'm going to go back. And then when I went outside, I came back in 10 minutes specifically. They were like, are you crazy? Are you become one of those like nerds or something like that? I was like, I don't think I'm become a nerd. I would feel that in myself. And then I went specifically, and I was going to the library. So there was a point where my English was still poor, and I couldn't. There was things like, you know, theories and things like that I couldn't understand.
Yeah.
But I knew that there was no time to understand those anymore. I have to prepare for exam and pass those exams so that I can go to college. So I can have enough grades to go to college. And then what I ended up doing most of the times, I ended up learning those things that I didn't understand, which is really, really bad. Like bad in terms that you spend way too much time to learn stuff that you don't understand. So yeah, exactly. I was learning those things. I was sleeping 4 hours specific, only 4 hours. And I remember like I was sitting in my room all day and I was listening to opera, because that's the only thing kind of was able to kind of, you know, relax myself. I was able to relax and study at the same time. And that was what I was doing at home whenever the library was closing at 8 o'clock back then. And then, and I was studying kind of like that. Then I realized that, then I realized, like, you know, the meaning of time. I realized that in 5 minutes, sometimes, literally in 5 minutes, I can learn so many things. And I remember, like, because I realized that, I was going and eating my sandwich literally in the corridor quickly and going back, because I knew I didn't have too much time. And then when it was the exam time, when we did all of our exams, I actually dreamt, saw me passing through my exams, and the next day I was able to pass them barely. Like, there were some grades, English, that was the one that was really, I barely passed it, because I think I got like 44, and I think 40 was the from 40 onwards we were able to pass it. So I think I don't remember what was the grades back then. I think it was a C3 or something like that. But anyway, I think I got 44 or something, and I was able to pass. And then so two of my Eastern European friends, they were not able to pass because they didn't take it seriously. They didn't pass the school. They didn't get to college. So one of them, I think, had to stay 1 more year, and the other one decided to do something else. But then the reason actually I brought this in, because that was the moment I realized how important the time is. It's just when you have something that you have to really, really focus on, and you realize that if you're not going to do it now, you just, you won't have another chance, another opportunity. And yeah, that was the moment I just realized. That was the moment for me when I realized like time is extremely difficult. And the reason I'm actually mentioning this, as you mentioned, so many people, they think that they're going to miss out on so many things if they're not going to go out now or something like that, but they don't realize that actually this is going to pay off them at the end of the day. And the thing, I'm not sure, Gabby, if you know this or not, but when I was in school, so many times my classmates, they were saying to me, like you'd ask them, oh, did you study for this or did you study for that? They said like, I know, and I didn't really study for that. I didn't really care, but sometimes they actually do study for it. I don't know why I'm saying this, but maybe the reason I'm saying for this is just because people study. They might sometimes not say it or not express it because it doesn't look cool when you're studying and you're focusing too much. But this is when you feel like you have to do it. You don't be same as everyone. Just do your own thing.
Whenever you are not into it, you just can't get it. But in the end of the day, some of the people, like even like some of my friends, I have like, there are like two groups of people. Some of them, they are really kind of into what I'm doing, and they keep asking me like, so Gabi, how was the college like yesterday? So what did you do now? Some of them, like I'm really talkative person, and I love to share that because I love it. So probably that's why, like, exactly, guys. And some of them, whenever you are saying that, they are like, yeah, sure. Okay. But then, like, for example, like when I created that Instagram account, some of my friends who didn't really get like my fascination with what I'm doing.
You create Instagram accounts for your artwork, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. And while they like saw some of my works, they were like, actually, like, fair play to you, Gabi. Like that looks pretty nice. So yeah, like.
And Gabi, tell me this. This is one question actually just came out right now. That's why I'm actually writing it down. And how important is to believe in yourself? So let's say you're doing something currently. Let's say you're working in JDs, right? Like a supervisor or like a manager, doesn't matter. But you think that you're not 100% sure whether you can do something else outside of this world. But what do you think? How important is to believe in yourself that you can do something outside?
To believe? Like, first you need to try. If you don't try, then you have no idea. But
do you also realize that so many people actually don't try?
Yeah.
Why do you think is that?
Like, people are different. So, like, obviously not all of the people, they don't have to be interested in art, for example. But they can have something completely different they are crazy about. So it just.
Why do you think they don't try though?
Like, either they have no idea what they like, because it's actually really common. Like, people are just like me before. They are working, like, they are going to work, they are going back home. Sometimes they go out with their friends, then they go back to work. And the point is, like, to take this kind of job, for example, as just a temporary job, and just as
you mean like a side job, or isn't it? Let's say like it might be even any type of job. Let's say JD, someone working at JDs, they might take it as a temporary, but just work on something that you're really, really passionate about and you want to. But just don't stay there passionate about it, but just do small steps. Someone actually told me this thing. I think loads of people say this. When an elephant eats something, he doesn't eat it overall straight away. He eats it step by step. So it comes to the fact that if someone wants to do it, they have to do it by small steps. But I just in my mind, I see so many people sometimes they can do something outside the box and something that they have in their mind. And when they think outside the box, they think outside the box is something too big, and it's actually not big when you're doing small steps. It's actually very, very easy. Let's say you start drawing something just simple, and then you start drawing something again, and then again and again, and then you can decide, okay, to take this in the more professional level, you can start courses, and that's it. And courses might be, these days there's so many courses online. You can take few part-time courses and see like whether you like it or not, and then decide to proceed.
You just have to try. There's no other way.
And so many, like, this is like something that I recently, as an important information I got for myself, that once we become old, like 70 or 80 years old, then we're stuck. We can't do anything from there on. We're just going to regret for the rest of our lives.
Yeah.
And that's why I think that, you know, if you're not going to try and do something, even if it's not going to work very well, because let's say you decide to become an artist and you draw something, you realize you're a shit artist, but maybe a digital version of it, computer-wise, maybe it's easier for you, so you can actually try the variations of it, and the variation of graphic design aspect of it might be working better for you, so you can do that. But if you haven't tried, you will never know.
Yeah,
but if you try, there's kind of other variations of it that's going to open up for you, right?
Yeah, like even when I started my college, I remember my first classes when I actually met my group for the first time, and I 95% of the people, they were Irish.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just like, oops, like it's gonna be hard, like, because you know, like it's also kind of specific language, vocabulary or stuff, like, and I was afraid that first kind of, I don't know, like when I have to face it, like how it's gonna be, because I knew exactly that we have to prepare like the presentation in front of the group and the tutor and stuff, and it was so stressful first, but then like, you see, like I was getting better and better and more confident, and I actually noticed that it's not that bad. After the first term when I didn't even realize I got my first grades, and they were actually awesome. They were better than like the grades of the rest of the people. I was like, all right, like that's why I tried, and then I got kind of like a reward for that, and that's why I started to believe in myself, and I was like, maybe it's actually something for me, because like it just all comes from like, even like I come from Poland. In Poland it's so common to kind of like keep people keep them thinking that, like, for example, we say these steps are too high for your feet, so what basically means the steps are too high for your feet.
Okay.
So like hold on, it's not for you, like that's for the rest of the people, but you should just basically go with your life, like, you know, in a really traditional way, and just go to college, set up the family, have children, find a job like 9 to 5, and everything is okay then. But it's not always like this. Maybe for some of the people that makes them happy, but some of the people, they are just different.
100%. Actually, let me quickly do this. What I was going to say that it is correct like that, because, and sometimes when let's say this traditional cycle goes around, let's say a person becomes an accountant, let's say, right? They then have a family and all that, and then realize that at the age of 35 or 38, that, you know, they actually, you know, they get wealthy, they're having a good life and nice life balance and all that, but then realize that every single time they wake up in the morning to go to work, they actually feel miserable because they hate the jobs that they are doing. And then that hits them that, you know, that they actually need to change something, or they start having mental problems. And you know, that's an example where you need to always try to do your own thing and become perhaps better at it while you're doing your own thing. Because even, let's say, if you're an accountant, but you know that you're going to come back home, and after that you're going to do your own thing, you're going to still be happy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Perfect.
No, but to be honest, I mentioned the time because that's what's happening at the moment. Like, I'm struggling to get that more time. But other obsessions would be also, I still want to do so many other things, like, you know.
Really, apart being an artist.
Yeah, it's just, but you know, the first obsession, the time, it kind of
squeezes you in.
Yeah, exactly. So I still like want to. Like, for example, I want to start learning. to learn French language.
Really?
Yeah.
So Russian was not enough for you.
Not enough. I want to get something more.
Okay.
Like, there's so many different things, you know. I love music. I would love to play some instrument. Like,
Really?
I know they are random things, but still, that's why, like from the next year, I was also thinking that maybe I can kind of make the other course in my college as well.
Like what?
What would be handy? The web design.
Okay, that would be similar to whatever you do right now.
So like kind of something similar, but still like.
But are you serious about music?
More.
Or are you serious about music? Like you want?
Yeah,
to...
I am.
How do you get inspired by because like you want to do music? How do you get inspired?
I love music in general.
I tell you how I get inspired. So the reason I made a few rap music videos previously, etc. I watch. So first time I watched the rap music videos and I heard the rap songs, I was like, shit. I don't want to just. Let's say I see someone cooking, right? And I'd be like, okay, the cooking. Cooks like an expert. He does interesting tricks and he does interestingly. But I don't feel like I want to do the same thing. I never feel like that. But when rappers rap, I want to be rapping as well, like in my own head, in my own version, in my own self of being me. I want to do the same thing. Obviously, I'm not good at it. I'm not that good at it. I realize that for myself. But it's good also obviously to do it, realize you're not good at that specific genre or do variation of it, which is what I'm doing now. Let's say I'm doing vlogging. But I just realized that actually that's I see myself in, but I might be delusional if I'll continue doing, and I feel like yes, I'm doing great, But how about you? Like, how do you realize that yourself? You see yourself in it. How do you realize that?
I don't know.
Or this is something that you want, like, let's say, is this something like cooking for you as well? Like
cooking?
Would it be?
Maybe. Yeah. Maybe, who knows?
So do you see yourself like singing, like yourself literally singing?
Not singing, more like making music.
Making music, okay.
It's just maybe it's just because I'm so amazed by some of the artists who do music, and I'm just like, wow, they are so talented. Yeah. And I believe that I'm the person who can discover that kind of better sort of music. Yeah. So maybe it's just about the taste.
Do you think that you can discover better sort of?
I'd say so. Like, I'm not a fan of mainstream music. It doesn't mean that I'm listening to some weird music or something, but I'm trying to look for people who are not that famous, for example, but they are really, really talented.
All right.
And it's just like, whenever, like, for example, there is James Blake. I don't know if you know him.
I heard of him, but I don't remember like any of his songs.
He's from United Kingdom, and whoa, what he's doing! Like,
what genre?
It's kind of it's electronic music, something like this. But he just kind of like plays the piano. He's singing as well, and he makes that music. So it's just like, when I went to the concert, it was, I think, less than 2 years ago in the Olympia Theater. Yeah. It was just like unreal. Like, I was literally like almost crying, because like for me it's kind of like ceremonial thing. Yeah, it's not just a concert that I'm going to get a pint and have a great time with my friends. I'm just like, oh my god.
And the beauty about that, Gabby, you were like, what age are you? You're 29, right?
Age?
Yeah.
I'm 28.
You're 28, right?
This year, yeah.
Yeah, so you're 28, you're still young, We have like another like 10 years, 12 years, like I'm being here like nice by saying 12 years, because that will make us 40, and then after that 50. After 50, before 50 you function for fine. Let's say you do your graphic design, then you work in that sphere, you like it, you continue working it there. So let's say you're going to have that as a main job, and then you slowly can try the music sphere. And
why not?
And it's actually in this environment it's very good, because you can get the social approval by posting it on social media, few of them, and then asking those people who like that type of music to rate you or to check you out. And if they check you out and they like it, they're going to comment, etc. And that's going to give you an indication. Maybe you really, so it's not in yourself only, but for social approval, they like it too. Yeah. That means that maybe indeed I'm good. Like same as you said, you did your projects in graphic design, and then you submitted it, you got one of the best grades. But you didn't know that before you've done. And then same thing here. You actually do it. You put it out there. People give their feedback, and based on their feedback, you can judge on that.
And anyway, like, each thing you are doing, like, out of your work, or like even if I was graphic designer and I was doing something about the music, it gives me an inspiration to do something in graphic design as well.
Okay.
Like each skill, it helps. Like it keeps you inspired, I'd say.
That's it. It kind of combines to the overall self of you, of what you represent for yourself. No, it's perfect. What other obsession that you have, like, you know, that literally flows in your mind?
I think right now, when I kind of believed that what I'm doing, it's not that bad, let's say. I started to look for like other people who are really kind of inspiring, who are doing the same thing, like other graphic designers and stuff. Like for example, Paula Scher or Stefan Sagmeister, who's actually kind of really interesting person. He comes from Austria, but he set up his design studio in New York, and that's actually pretty funny thing because he basically put few cameras in his studio. So whenever you go to his website, you have like 3 different kind of screens, and you are able to check what they are working on at the moment. Like it's available like all the time, live camera.
Okay.
It's just like on the top of the website, and it's pretty much cool because like that's how I'm for example, like I'm kind of obsessed with that website at the moment
because you can see every single
and I'm kind of checking that, and I'm like, okay, in a while I'll be there with you, like, you know, that's
or even now you are almost there with them, and you know,
as long as you believe in that, I think it's just a matter of
and
time.
you know, with the artificial intelligence and virtual reality soon, where we, you know, when we're going to just switch on our computers or everything in front of us, we're going to, I'm not sure now exactly what kind of technology will be there behind it, but we're going to feel like we're there, or we're going to have something that's going to give us like a laser effect in front of us, and we're going to feel like those people actually in front of us doing that. Well, obviously that's going to be in a good few amount of years, maybe 10, 20 years or something.
But it will be.
But it will be happening, because we never knew that we're going to interact with our phones as the way we're interacting now, and we're doing everything through it, but we do it.
Yeah. Fair.
That's perfect, Gabby. I think this much will be enough. I think this is the little bit longest version of my podcast, but I don't even think this is even long enough. But we can summarize it here.
I'm not stressed anymore.
Yeah, that's perfect. That's perfect. No, that's good. And about even stress, as you said, like, you know, before Gabby started here, she was like very stressed. And I want to make sure that whoever comes here and like, and we want to discuss comes down. But then we discuss one thing, that it's not up to you. You even come yourself. You're like, okay, yeah, Ruslan is a calm person anyway. We're going to have a just general casual conversation. You still have like a little bit stress and all that in your mind. That's something you have internal. Yeah. And then once you start,
because like we talk every day and it's normal, but when there's a camera in front of you, it's
exactly.
Like,
but it's only like when you start. It's like when you go on the stage, you have a small bit of anxiety to go in front of the public. Yeah. And then once you go there and you start speaking, and then it becomes easier. However, I think if you are talking about something that you don't know, or something that you are presenting, or like the specific task you're doing that you don't really like, and you have to present it,
much harder,
then it's very, very difficult to present it. And because you want to be open there, and you want to be able to answer any potential questions that you can go into. But if you don't represent yourself, or if you don't represent something that you love, then that's when your anxiety takes over you, and it becomes even way more difficult to present. And actually, I was asking about Randam, how is it easy for you to present or not? He said, you know, it all can be coached and but for me personally, I know that if I talk about something that I love, and something that or if I'm talking about just myself, and just literally talking, then it's easy for me to present myself and talk to people. But if I'm talking about something that I hate, it's very difficult.
It is, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I actually can even admit the fact that I was the worst presenter in college, etc., because most of the things that I was presenting, I hated them. I didn't like them, and maybe if I have more passion to the things that I were presenting, maybe it would be interesting, but I didn't. And so many things, because I didn't really understand those things as well, and I was still presenting it because it was part of the project that we had to work on.
That's the worst thing. That's me in my history classes at the moment.
Yeah,
I have to present something about the history.
And the thing is, right, I wanted to be able to be an extrovert. That's like, I have this in me. That's why ages ago I did like rap music videos previously, and that's why I want to do something where I can present and talk. And that's why I started vlogging. That's why I started YouTube channel, where I feel more comfortable and I can do it, and it's kind of my own. I express myself, and no one pushes me to do it.
Yeah.
So that's it. That's the crack. And guys, thank you very much for listening. Whoever listens, and thanks very much for those who are watching. If you like this episode and if you'd like to see more of Doers Talk, where we talk with the guests about the struggles and obstacles that they're going through, or about the stuff where they are succeeding, then subscribe for further episodes. And that's it. I will see you next time. Thank you very much to my guest Gabby today.
Razza.
And I will see you next time. Peace.
On my grind all day, gonna make $1 million selling that someday. You know I'm in the rhythm when I write this way. Put me in the pound when I bite this game. Bitch, I'm an animal. Eating these rappers, I swear I'm a cannibal.